Hey, Brad, what's that?
What's what?
That thing right in front of you, man.
Oh, you mean the script that's telling me to remind our listeners to subscribe to Geeklirious on iTunes or any platform of their choice?
Yeah, but wasn't there more?
Alright, let me take a look. Hey, there's a part where I tell the listeners to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter using our handle @Geeklirious.
Yeah, that's the best line I ever wrote.
Oh, crap. I deleted it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 47 of Geeklirious. My name is Brian Cambriello. His name is Mike Tessmacher.
Hey.
And as always, we'd like to give a big shout out to Geeked Up Comics and Games, located in beautiful, sunny North Massapequa, New York. It's not raining today, like it's been the last couple times we recorded. Yes, nice fall day. Speaking of fall, we got some Halloween topics.
Some lovely... Not lovely. Scary.
Scary. Ooh, so scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spooky dukes.
Some good stuff.
And, if you want to follow us here at Geeklirious, we are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Geeklirious on all social medias. You can find the links down below. If you're listening on iTunes, give that a 5-star review. Yep. Leave a comment.
Mm-hmm.
Google Play, share it around. I don't even know what it is on Google. Do you like it on Google Play?
You subscribe.
You subscribe? Okay, subscribe on Google Play.
Yeah.
I have an iPhone, so I'm kind of unaware of this whole thing.
Yeah, there's if you have Android, there's Google has like a podcast thing / Google Play music thing, and you can subscribe right on there. It's cool.
Cool. So, yes, hope you enjoy the show. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. If you're a repeat offender, welcome back. We're glad to have you.
If you're new,
yeah,
welcome, because you're new.
Yes. If this isn't the most awkward podcast introduction, nah, it's all good. Yeah, we're gonna be breaking down our top 10 favorite horror movies. If you've never joined us for a top 10 before, Mike and I will essentially make our own top 10 lists and then fight it out to the death to see who lasts. It's really we've coined it the Mario Party of podcast topics.
Yeah.
Where we don't know if we're going to punch each other or settle it in a friendly manner by the end of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as always here on Geeklirious, we like to do a little catch up, see how each other are doing. So, as usual, Mike, why don't you go first? What have you been geeking into?
Yeah. Much of the same. I've been, just waiting for Red Dead to come out and Soul Calibur 6 to come out. So, as far as games, not too much. But comics, I've been rereading Old Man Logan because we talked about that on our last episode, or to our favorite stuff to get into and for new people. So I figured I'd give her a reread because I haven't read it since it came out originally, and I'm also like reading now I read that, and I'm reading I read the first volume of the newer stuff where Old Man Logan comes into like present day instead of being in the future.
Cool.
Really good stuff. He fought the Hulk. He went because I don't want to say too much about that because I want you to read Old Man Logan.
I do. I definitely want to read it.
He has a vendetta against the Hulk. So when he goes to present day, he tries to kill people that did him wrong in the future, and Hulk is one of them. But he doesn't realize that Banner's gone and it's a new Hulk, Amadeus. So there's like a cool interaction.
That's
with
cool.
Them and stuff. Really good stuff. It still keeps with the brutal, really, you see a lot of blood in that stuff and a lot of gore. So it's pretty metal.
Yeah, I know you mentioned awesomeness of Old Man Logan last week, and
Yes.
just to plug ourselves again, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, it was honestly one of my most favorites.
Yeah.
46. We taught you guys, or I guess I don't know what do you want to call it? Just kind of like recommended
really.
for like first
Yeah.
podcast readers if you want to get into reading,
especially
podcasts.
if you're like coming from the movies and into the comics. There was so much we left a lot out, but we will do more of that.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all I've been reading. A lot of Old Man Logan and also Avengers Forever, which is really cool. I'm like halfway into that out of 12 issues, so that's really cool. That has to deal with like Kang the Conqueror, but he's teaming up with the Avengers because there's an older version of Kang the Conqueror called Immortus, and he's an even bigger villain than Kang the Conqueror.
I've never even heard of either of these guys.
You never heard of Kang?
No.
He's like
I know Krang from the Ninja Turtles.
yeah.
That's probably not the same guy though.
He's like, he has a purple face and he's like purple and green.
Maybe if I saw a picture, I'd probably.
He's Mr. Fantastic's son or grandson.
Oh,
So yeah,
that doesn't help me out at all, but that's interesting.
yeah, a little thing. Yeah. So that's really good, and it also has Captain America in it, but it's Captain America, like, there was a point in the series where Captain America stopped becoming Captain America because he was, like, disenfranchised with, like, what America became.
This where he became like the Nomad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, since it has to do with time travel, there's, like, Avengers from different time periods, so they have Captain America from that time period, which is really interesting because he's not the stars and stripes, that type of guy. He's like emotionally like done. Like he at that point, like he didn't think he was an Avenger anymore. He didn't want to be part of anything. So it's a really interesting story.
That's interesting.
What have you been doing?
So two things I really want to plug. First, the new season of Doctor Who started last week
With the what's her name?
Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
We have our first female Doctor. For those of you who are Doctor Who fans and haven't checked out the new season of Doctor Who yet, highly recommend it. It's got off to a pretty good start.
Yeah.
So we had our second episode, and I don't want to talk too much on it because I really want to get into my second topic, but very good. I don't think it was as good as the first episode, but it reminded me very heavily of classic Doctor Who. Awesome. They were like on a deserted planet trying to find the TARDIS, and it was very cool. They found themselves in the middle of like an amazing race type thing.
Mm-hmm. So is she the best Doctor Who?
Way too early to tell.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as best Doctor Who. Everyone's got their favorites, but I like each of them for their own reasons because they're different.
That's cool.
You always like your first.
But she's living up to the hype, I guess. Or
she's very good. I'm enjoying her as the Doctor a lot so far.
Does Alyssa like her?
Alyssa doesn't watch Doctor Who.
Really?
She does not like it. Yeah.
Wow.
We're not gonna have everything in common.
yeah, there's some things. Just like I don't like Doctor Who either.
You haven't given it a chance.
That's very
true. You
true.
have to watch it, and then you can tell me. I don't literally. I don't care if you hate it, but just watch it. Like a couple episodes. You don't have to watch the whole series. Just...
I will. One of these days we'll do a commentary on it.
Oh, dude, that would be so.
Like your favorite episode we'll pick or something.
My favorite episode is while I'm here, it's called Vincent and the Doctor. It's part of the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith's run.
Okay.
And they
so
go back...
one of these days we'll pick it up.
Very good. Okay, so the main thing I wanted to talk about was I went to go see Venom.
Yes, Venom.
I love that Eminem song. It plays in the trailer. In the ending credits.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had that freaking song stuck in my head all week. Anyway, so
Brian went to go see Venom.
I went to go see Venom.
I did not, however.
So I'm going to give you my perspective going into the movie and what I thought of it. So I don't know if you guys are longtime Geeklirious listeners, you know that the initial teaser trailer for Venom, neither of us liked. We both just made fun of the.
It was bad.
We killed that trailer. We really ripped it apart.
It was a bad trailer. However, the movie turned out, that trailer was bad.
Yeah. And then the second trailer came out, and we were like, eh. And anyway,
better, but
yeah, it wasn't. We finally got to see some Venom stuff, and so, and then the critics were kind of panning the movie, and I'm like, oh no, because I really wanted it to be good. So, and then I started hearing some mixed reviews about it, and I was like, oh, some people are like, oh, it's really good. I'm like, that's weird. And it seemed like the public liked the movie for the most part, but the critics were tearing it apart.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes was
not very
they
kind.
gave it like 30%.
Yeah, it was real low.
But audience gave it like an 80, so it's weird.
Yeah, super weird. So I went into it, and as you guys know, not a super huge comic book aficionado. So I'm really going into this with the most basic knowledge of Venom.
Yeah.
I never really read any of the Venom storylines in the comics, so this is like a new experience for me. This is like really my first take of
like
the Venom character.
Like Flash Thompson, Eddie Brock. Like,
no, I mean I know from like the animated cartoon and Spider-Man 3, which isn't really the best.
That's good because I feel like you're what everyone else is pretty much going into.
Yes.
That's what everyone else watched too. Unless you were into comics.
Yeah, and I want to make that clear before I give my analysis of the movie, because I don't want it to be like unknown that this is my mindset going in, because I feel like comic book fans and non-comic book fans definitely had a large difference with
Absolutely,
how they viewed this movie.
Yeah.
So going into it, the first maybe 20-25 minutes, I'll straight out say it was pretty boring. It was setting up the characters. Not really much happened. Eddie Brock, he was a news reporter and he loses his job. This really isn't, spoiling much. And, by the way, no spoil. I'm not going to spoil anything for this.
Yeah.
And then he hooks up with Venom. And that's where the movie does a complete 180. And I'll say, my opinion from the movie ending, staying through the end credits to get the extra scenes and whatnot, I was pleasantly surprised with Venom.
Wow.
I would go as far as to say I don't know if I loved it. Loving it is like 10 out of 10 for me. I'm going to say I really enjoyed it. I'm going to say 7 out of 10.
Wow.
What really made this movie great to me was it didn't try super hard to be a comic book movie or it was a fun action movie. And I got a lot of Deadpool vibes from it. The conversations and inner monologues between Eddie Brock and Venom, hysterical. Like, actually really funny. Like, I busted a gut a couple times while we were in the theater, like, shocked at some of the crap that came out of Venom's mouth. Like, he picked up like the human lingo super quickly. Like, he pulls out like really dirty language sometimes, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? And he's got a little bit of that, like, Drax the Destroyer in him, where he doesn't, like, understand human nature, bad versus good, and it's a lot of fun. The action scenes are superb. There's a lot of really good car chase, motorcycle chase type of things going on. And I like the timid nature of Eddie Brock versus the super outgoing, destructive nature of Venom. I think they meshed really well together. Yeah, honestly, enjoyed the movie. Now, I can see where people would dislike this movie.
Yeah.
I think that stems mostly from the character arcs and the plot itself. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing out of the box. this movie does nothing as far as directorial achievement or writing achievement. It's pretty basic, but it's a very bare bones, fun action movie. And I think if you go into it not thinking too hard about it and not like expecting too much from it, I think you'll have a good time.
Yeah.
I think if you're expecting this to be a comic to screen adaptation, you're not going to like it. I think if you're looking for this movie to be some kind of, Academy Award winning, achievement in movie making, not going to find it. But if you go in looking for a fun action flick, cool fight scenes, funny moments, a good interaction between the two main characters, and you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
I say go see it.
Yeah, my deal breaker was there's no Spider-Man, so that doesn't, it just doesn't, Venom's not, Eddie Brock Venom isn't interesting without Spider-Man, in my opinion, but that's because I know more about the comics, and I guess it is from all I've heard, it's a competent film if you're going in just for an action movie, lighthearted, sort of, that thing, but yeah, if you're going in expecting, certain things, I don't know if that's going to be what you're going to get.
It's not an adaptation by any means. They definitely play a lot with the source material.
Like, because he didn't have webs or anything, right?
He didn't have webs, but he used the symbiote as, extending it and grabbing things to swing and...
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we don't have to turn this into a Venom...
episode.
Yeah, the episode.
No, I didn't want...
Because I haven't even seen it, so I'm not even going to give my opinion about it, because that would be...
No, I definitely... I feel like you're not going to like it as much as me.
Yeah.
Purely because of where it came from and the source material.
And I think I've kind of already... Unfortunately, I've made up my mind about that movie, even though I haven't seen it. Which is maybe a little unfair, but those types of movies, just because it's Sony and it failed me so many time in and time out,
it's very tongue in cheek, and you can tell.
Yeah,
it doesn't take itself seriously.
I would have rather them do a Flash Thompson Venom, that more of a hero Venom, then that would make more sense. But
I will say, it is more of a hero Venom.
Yeah.
So it seems to me like they molded a bit of Eddie Brock with Flash Thompson in this film, from what I've heard. So anyway, I've talked quite a bit about Venom. Mike, I'll let you go first on the horror movies. So
all right,
you have
let's get into it without further delay.
Yes.
So yeah, if you forgot, we're doing top 10 horror movies or scary Halloween movie stuff we like to watch.
Yeah, it's the middle of October. A little past the middle of October, but we're getting to the Halloween spirit. And
so I'm gonna start out with The Puppet Master.
Okay, I haven't seen this one.
Really?
So, yeah,
from '89.
Okay.
It's not a great movie, but it's just such a classic horror movie, and basically a group of people go to this town or whatever, and they get basically killed by these puppets, marionettes, that are like this magical puppeteer that he's crazy, and there's really cool, they had that one that was bald, and then they had the other one that had the like a drill. He had a drill head, and he would drill into people and stuff. It's really creepy, especially when I was watching that as a little kid. That was one of my favorite horror movies to watch. They had a bunch of them that weren't as good as well. I think there was 3 or 4 of them, but I don't remember all those. But the first one, Puppet Master, is really good. I highly recommend it. It has some good puppetry, and it's like a classic 80s like typical horror movie, but it's really fun.
Was Jim Henson involved in this at all?
No, unfortunately.
That's a deal breaker for me.
Dude,
if it ain't like it, if it ain't Kermit the Frog and Big Bird stabbing people, I don't know what I want.
Dude, it's creepy. And
it does sound interesting.
Yeah, I remember, what was it? There was like one scene where it like cuts the dude's leg.
And you said 89?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably in the sweet spot for like cheesy horror. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't remember a lot about it. I haven't seen it probably in like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
But maybe...
Hey, it still holds up and made your list, so...
Yeah, it's just one of those classic movies. I haven't seen it in a long time. We should definitely watch that. But, yeah, really good.
All right.
What about you?
So my number 10 was the John Cusack movie, 1408. You ever see 1408?
I don't think so.
So 1408 tells the story of a writer played by John Cusack who specializes in, I guess, debunking paranormal, like famous paranormal sites. Mm-hmm. He's like a writer of ghost hunters.
When did that come out?
2000. I have it right here. 2007.
Okay.
So 11 years ago. Anyway, so he goes into this hotel room that's supposedly haunted. It's right after his daughter dies, and he's getting back into it. He's got a wife, and he just goes by himself, and he's got this like tape recorder with him, and he's just kind of like taking down notes about it, talking about the hotel itself, kind of reviewing the hotel.
I think I remember that movie.
And Samuel L. Jackson, I think he plays like. Maybe the manager of the hotel, or he works with the hotel, and it's like a psychological horror movie because the room starts like messing with his mind, and it's clear pretty quickly that he's like trapped in this room, won't let him leave. It's got this really great, I don't know what you want to call it, just like reoccurring gag where. Every time the room will like reset itself, and like the same song will be playing. I think it's by the Carpenters. I forget what song it is, but it'll play and it like resets. It almost like a Groundhog's Day type thing.
Yeah.
But like the room keeps like resetting itself, and he's like trapped in it, and he's like reliving the same day over and over, and it keeps getting weirder, and he's having these visions of his daughter, and it's got a really wicked twist ending too.
Okay.
And like I said, psychological. Thriller horror movie, really cool. John Cusack is one of my favorite actors, so he's so good in it. Highly recommend 1408.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna have to check that out because I remember it.
Yeah,
vaguely.
Do it. Very good.
Yeah,
and especially for that twist ending. The twist ending is still like even thinking about it just now gave me chills.
Did M. Night Shyamalan make it?
M. Night Shyamalan did not make
that's
it.
A deal breaker.
The director was Meek.
I don't watch twist movies without M. Night Shyamalan, okay?
Hey, I don't watch Puppets movies without Jim Henson. So.
Okay. My number 9 is The Gate.
The Gate.
Yes.
Another one I have not seen.
That's another one much... I don't remember when that came out, but I'm assuming it's the late 80s as well, with a young Stephen Dorff, the villain from Blade. He was like a kid at the time.
From Blade?
Yeah. Remember the vampire from Blade, the white guy?
Triple H?
No, that was the third one.
I know, I'm just joking with you, but
Pedigree.
No, I haven't seen I haven't seen Blade in forever. So.
Anyways, that doesn't matter. It's about a kid with his friend. They buy a record, and it's like a black metal record. And it opens up a gate of hell in his backyard. And these little demons come out. And
when did this movie come out?
Late 80s.
Okay.
It's awesome. And it now watching it probably wouldn't be the scariest thing, but man, that terrified me. Because those little demons, man, they're scary. And they come out of like this hole in his backyard, and he has to close it, and he's fighting them. And they kill the babysitter because his parents are away or something.
Always.
And because I think they played the record backwards or something.
See, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
They made sequels to that as well that I don't recommend, of course. But really good stuff.
They should make a remake where they listen to like an old Justin Bieber record and it's so bad
Yeah.
that it causes like demons to come out.
Yeah, pretty much it. That's what it would be now. It would be like, yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Kesha.
Yeah. And what I like about it also, as watching it when I was a kid, I was probably like a little younger than the kid that was in the movie, obviously. But they didn't make the kid like stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was actually like competent, and spoiler, he defeats them in ways. So it actually becomes almost like Home Alone.
Home Alone with black metal demons.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
Dope. You sold me.
Yeah, there we go. Really fun. Really good stuff. The Gate is a must watch, especially if you're into metal. But
What's the record? Or is it just like a random record? Like,
I don't even remember what it was.
I would love to know if it was like Black Sabbath. No, it's
no,
black metal, right?
Yeah, it was black metal. So
Whitechapel.
Well, who even knows if it was? But now that I know more about metal, it looked like it was some black metal stuff.
Yeah.
Just like a black record and just some weird, the bundle of sticks logos. And
Bundle of Sticks.
yeah, you know how the metal...
Actually, it might be Black Sabbath.
No, like the metal, their logos...
Or Led Zeppelin.
Always have like weird, you can barely read them.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing. So yeah, it was, and they played it backwards, and it's really cool because the demons can also like turn into things and like shapeshift and stuff. Really cool.
All right, that
What
sounds
about
cool.
You're 8.
Number 9.
You're 9.
My number 9 is 2015's The Visit. You want M. Night Shyamalan? You got M. Night Shyamalan. The Visit was, in my opinion, Mr. Shyamalan's return from
Trash.
terrible movies.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, he performs so much better with like a smaller budget and it's like smaller scaled movies. So The Visit tells
You're right
us...
about that because the Avatar stuff did not work out for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Visit was so good.
Visit was fantastic. So,
By the way, that if he didn't have that on the list, I would have probably maybe had that on my list as well.
okay, that's high praise for The Visit. So two siblings become increasingly frightened by their grandparents' disturbing behavior while visiting them on vacation. That's straight from the IMDb page.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Awesome twist.
oh my God, the twist at the end is so crazy.
Just really good and actually like funny and scary, which is hard to do in movies. For me, like the dynamic between brother and sister, like actually like it made sense, and they weren't like stupid teenagers. Like they didn't do the stupid trope teenager stuff.
No, they didn't. No, I really liked it. It had a bit of like Hansel and Gretel vibe, a little bit of it's just like almost like what's that movie? I can't forget the name of it, but anyway, regardless, super fun.
That scene where she's like telling her to go in the oven.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like what?
And the whole thing is done via like found footage stuff, right? For the most part.
Yeah, because they have like their
like the webcam.
They're on vacation, so they have like their camera or whatever.
Right, yeah. So that I honestly love that kind of like found footage type of movie.
But it was done very well because
it
wasn't like intrusive. Like you still got like you didn't feel like you were missing anything with a lot of those found footage ones.
And it just it starts off so innocent and then increasingly just gets more and more intense and then there's like that twist and crazy. So that was my number 9, The Visit.
Okay, so number 8, right?
Number 8.
I'm gonna go with probably another one you haven't seen, Train to Busan.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Now this isn't old, but it's a foreign film. It's from Korea, I believe.
Okay.
It is a zombie movie. And zombies and trains. Basically, it's about a family that is taking a train to Busan, which is a town in Korea, I believe. And he's Yeah, it takes like this guy and his daughter and his family. They're not on like great terms or whatever. Like he's kind of like a neglected dad, from what I remember. And yeah, they're taking a train, and then people start getting infected, and all this stuff starts happening like at the beginning, and then they're like segmenting like parts of the train to stay safe, and it's actually like really good. It's not the scariest zombie movie, so that's why it's not on the higher on the list, but it's really good, and it's probably like one of my favorite foreign horror movies. Besides, I have another one on my list, but this is like one of my favorites. Really good. I think it's on Netflix too, so you might be able to check it out. Train to Busan, really good, really good. I don't want to give too much away because I feel like the less you know about it, the better. But it's a fun action movie, and well, sort of, because there's like a little bit of action, but it's scary. But there's also like some humor in it too. It's one of those quirky Asian movies also, so they have like a lot of that type of humor,
right?
But really good.
All right,
your number 8
sounds like fun. Yeah, my number 8 is Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
So this came out in 2007. Obviously, spawned a whole load of sequels, most of which were not very good. I have seen, I think, most of the Paranormal Activity movies, though.
Yeah, I think the last one I saw was when there were like, what were they, like witches across the street or something?
Yeah, I think that was 3.
Yeah.
That was 3, yeah. I think the last one, I think that was also the last one I saw. Or 4.
Yeah.
I saw 4. I saw 4.
Oh, yeah?
4 might have been the witch one. One of them was.
I
Anyway, it was like a cult or something. Anyway, Paranormal Activity, it's about a family that moves into a house that's haunted.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too crazy, but the whole movie is very similar to The Visit, this found footage movie, and it was really the one of the first movies, aside from the Blair Witch Project, to really capitalize on this found footage craze. And a lot of movies since then have done it, and not as well. Paranormal Activity, I think, did it to perfection.
Really?
It is creepy. It is genuinely scary, and the fact that it's suspenseful as all hell. It is so suspenseful. You're just waiting for something to happen, and the tension builds and builds and builds until the epic climax, and it's one of those movies I think everyone should see. And the fact that it was made with such a small budget. Mm-hmm. There's like 7 actors in the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's like the couple, their friends, and then a couple random people that visit the house.
Really, it's just 2 people, though.
Yeah, it's like mostly just 2 people.
90% of the time.
Yeah. And it's so good. And the succeeding movies are okay, but nothing beats the original. As you'll see with many movies on my list, it's mostly like the first of many sequels.
Yeah.
Anyway, I highly recommend Paranormal Activity. At least the first one.
I recommend the first one. I'm not a biggest fan of you as it, like, because I feel like where The Visit, it didn't, like, take away, like, the camera work didn't take away, but I feel like in Paranormal Activity it kind of did. I know it enhanced it in certain ways, because it wasn't, like, necessarily, like, you could get the whole thing, the camera moves to the right, nothing's there, then it moves to the left, but then it goes to the right, and then something's moved, like, that sort of stuff.
Right.
There's, like, a lot of jump scares. It really depends on what kind of horror movie, like, that is, like, a really, you don't see much. It's like, there's a lot of that build-up.
You know what it kind of reminds me of a bit? Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Like, this house that's just more, like, every night, more and more starts happening, and they try to explain it away, and eventually they can't anymore, and...
Yeah.
I don't have Amityville on my list, although that is a very good horror movie as well.
Especially because we live so close. So.
Yeah. Have you ever been to it?
Yes, I have.
I've actually never been near it.
Well, by the time I saw it when I was a kid, like when my brother would take me there to creep me out, it didn't look like it. It looked
it's completely
different.
changed,
You know,
yeah.
even in like the early '90s, it looked completely different. But yeah, Paranormal Activity is pretty cool.
It is a very different style of horror movie.
Stay away from the sequels. I feel like they got like they were
especially
diminishing
2.
results.
2
Yeah,
was, in my opinion, the weakest one.
and it was weird because it had potential because they like tried to like expand on the story, but it just never went anywhere.
Yeah.
And they kept trying to do it like the story like kept continuing, but it just like
it
made less and less sense. Like
I agree with that. I think 1 stands on its own.
Yeah,
and the rest of them were more so cash grabs.
Absolutely.
But the first one, I think,
like, hey, we can spend like $2 million and make like $100 million. So why can't we're just gonna put these out every Halloween?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that was my number 8.
Yeah. Number 8. Okay. I'm gonna go with The Omen.
So this is your number 7.
Yes.
Okay.
For my number 7.
Oh, The Omen, I have seen. We're talking the original or the remake?
Yes, original.
Okay.
I think the remake was okay, but the original is that creepy. Something about the old movies, just the film grain, it makes them creepier. And with The Omen, that kid is so, like, Damien, like...
Oh, God, yeah.
So creepy. And, the scene at the beginning with the nun hanging herself, that's like a classic scene. Just so good, and the acting is really great. I'm forgetting the names because it's been forever, but I really liked the acting. So creepy, and like it's one of those devil movies that was like really cool. And very inventive, like, I feel like, in the killing and all that stuff, like, how things happened, it was really cool, but it also had, like, a cool story to it. It wasn't just scary for scary's sake, it actually had, like, a cool story to it. And that kid is just so scary. That's just creepy. What it is, like, so...
I don't know
like,
what it is about kids, but they can be creepy.
And and the house, and, like, everything about it, that was... from what I remember, really scary.
All right.
Your 7.
My 7 is The Cabin in the Woods.
Yes.
This came out in 2012. It was written by Joss Whedon.
Yes, from Avengers fame.
Yes, from Avengers and Buffy and Firefly and all that good stuff.
Avengers fame.
And it, of course, Joss Whedon loves to cast his people in the movies. So you've got Chris Hemsworth, also in Avengers. You've got Fran Kranz, who is also in Dollhouse.
Yeah.
You've got who else? Amy Acker, who was in Dollhouse. Tons of people in here.
Yeah.
So pretty much it's 5 friends go into a cabin in the middle of nowhere on vacation.
A cabin in the woods.
A cabin in the woods. And I don't know what that
Things
was.
are falling.
That was not my fault.
Oh, it was a dustpan.
It was a dustpan. At least it wasn't the poster this time. Let's put this down here.
Yeah.
That's cool. Anyway,
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods. Pretty much, it is a homage, in a way.
A love letter.
A love letter to old school horror movies, while at the same time taking a completely new spin on the genre. Pretty much taking the genre and spinning it on its head, and almost being a parody at the same time.
Yeah.
It is one of the most interesting horror movies I've ever seen.
But not in the corny sense.
No, not corny at all.
Like, it always had, like, a good, solid tone to it, where it didn't, like, go overboard,
Yeah, it is...
For me, at least.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. You need to watch this movie. I cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, it's the type of thing you can't really talk about the story too much.
No,
other
you
than
cannot.
They went to a cabin in the woods and
monsters
start killing them.
Yeah,
monsters, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and we say sort of because there's a big twist in it, and well, I wouldn't even say a twist because you find out pretty pretty quickly into the movie.
Yeah.
But the people in the cabin don't find out, and that makes it interesting.
Yeah.
And it's... It tells a lot about, like, human nature, and people get their just desserts.
Yeah.
You know?
And they, like you were saying, like, they flip the script a lot with, like, tropes and characters, like, this person should be like this, and so on and so forth. So there was, like, a lot of really cool people. I really liked a bunch of the main character, the stoner guy. He was, like, really funny. A lot of really good stuff. That's a movie I have to recheck out, because I remember seeing that in the theater and maybe a few times more, but I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, and I think I've only seen it like once or twice.
That'd be fun to do a commentary on.
That would be. We should do that. Okay, yeah. So that was my number 7. So 6 for you.
Let's move along. Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Classic.
Yeah. Something about it being in your most vulnerable state while you're sleeping that really gets me. Kept me up many a nights thinking about Freddy. And really, like, because it had some of the craziest killing things, like that when he went through in the bed and all that stuff. Oh man, so many cool parts, and what a classic villain, monster / villain, with the outfit and the claws and his attitude and the phone ringing.
That's Freddy calling you.
Oh, shoot.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door.
Yeah. Friday the 13th. Not Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Because I don't even like Friday the 13th.
Neither
I
do
feel
I.
like that's overrated.
It is. I think it's the weakest of all the other horror franchises.
You're right about that. Because I think Halloween is better, definitely.
Yeah.
Than Nightmare on Elm Street, obviously. A lot of good stuff in that. Yeah, just the whole dream thing. That's really creeps me out. And he always, like, killed you with, like, your biggest fears and stuff. So
I love that,
like,
yeah.
It was really, really unsettling. But you also liked Freddy Krueger because he was so cool.
Yeah, no.
Maybe not in the first one because they didn't go, like, as crazy with the campy, him with the one-liners and all that other stuff when he became, like, a more of a character. But, yeah, some really good stuff in that.
Agreed. No, Nightmare on Elm Street, one of the classic horror movies of all time. Yeah, so that was great. So that was your number
7.
6?
6. Was that 6?
That was your 6?
Yeah, okay.
For me, alright, so my number 6 is the 1979 classic Alien.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people consider this a sci-fi movie. Some people consider it a horror movie. I like to consider it a sci-fi.
I think it has a firm foot in both. So it's like you could go either way on that. Because there's no way you can't call that a horror movie.
Oh, no way.
But you couldn't not call it a sci-fi movie, too. So
absolutely. It is the picture-perfect combination of both. As a sci-fi fan,
just a movie fan.
As a movie fan. It's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best movies of all time.
Yep.
Easily
Agreed.
in the probably my top 15 movies.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's that amazingly popular tagline, in space, no one can hear you scream.
And it's a fact, and it's scary. So like,
if you've never seen any of the Alien movies before, definitely recommend Alien. The first Alien and Aliens are both incredibly good.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, you got on the podcast.
Yeah, you wanted it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That was Skip.
Yeah, our friend of the show.
Yes.
You'll probably hear him
Come
eventually.
back out of the bathroom.
Well, yeah, out of the bathroom and maybe on an episode.
As he tripped over all of our recording equipment.
Yes.
I'm not even going to take that out. That was entirely too funny. I'm going to leave that in.
That's a
yeah. So, Alien tells the story of a space crew who are being hunted by an incredibly dangerous alien.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, if you couldn't guess from the title. If you haven't seen the original Alien, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Not going to say too much about this.
Probably the best protagonist in a horror movie of all time.
Yeah, of course. You got Sigourney Weaver.
Ripley. I mean, enough said.
And then you've got the amazing John Hurt.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Lance Hendrickson, right? Was he in that? Bill Pullman?
No.
Bill Pullman was in it? No, who was the other one?
We got Tom Skerritt, Veronica Cartwright, Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt,
yeah.
Ian Holm as Ash. A lot of really good people.
Yeah. Great cast. Xenomorph. I mean, what an amazing alien design.
Yeah.
Creep. Like, they didn't show too much. In the later ones, they kind of messed that up. But, like, I love how they just very scantily showed it. And
yeah.
It was so
and it was
and
all practical effects, too.
Yeah, and just that.
I think that in itself makes it so much more creepy. And obviously, this movie spawned a whole franchise and Alien vs. Predator, video games, toys. It's one of the most iconic aliens in history and iconic horror figures, iconic sci-fi figures. Alien.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't go wrong with Alien.
You really can't.
Because it gets you with... You can watch it almost in any mood. Because it's scary, but not like crazy scary when you watch it in other ways.
Absolutely. So, Mike, what is...
Skip's going? You can go.
You can sit there in the corner? Okay.
Okay.
It's
gonna... We have a spectator.
We have a spectator.
Right.
So, Mike, what is your number 5?
Oh. See, now this is getting tough.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Probably... another foreign movie that I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
I believe it's Russian, and it's called Let the Right One In. Have you heard about that?
Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Is this about the kid vampire?
Yes. Yeah.
They made an American remake of it.
They did. I think it's just called Let Me In.
With Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
I watched that movie. I never watched the original. So tell me why the original is better.
You know, I'm not going to say the original is better because they're very similar, but I guess if you don't like subtitles, maybe the American one's better. But there's something creepy about the fact that it's in Russia and the dead of winter, and you really get that sense. And but it never goes overboard with the it's a vampire and all that stuff. It's so creepy because it's like a little girl and she's so adorable in one moment, but then she's like ripping people's necks off the next. Really cool.
What's not adorable about that, though? Come on.
Yeah, but it's like really weird, which I think in the American one they kind of took like a lot of the weirdness of the kid. He was kind of more of a normal kid, but in the foreign one he's like more of like a kind of like a I don't remember what exactly, but he was like a little bit not all there. Like he was like a little he wasn't just like a regular normal kid. He was like kind of like what was it? He was like perverted, or he was kind of like a little crazy himself. So yeah, it was really cool, and something about that atmosphere that really got me, and the fact that it's such a little girl, but she's what she is. You know, really cool. But it talks about like a lot of stuff with. There's like a lot of other themes to it that I really appreciate. Something really cool. I don't know. The fact that it's like so different. It's not like a typical movie. I really appreciate it. I think everyone should check that out.
Okay. Fun fact, last movie I ever rented from Blockbuster before they closed.
Really?
Yeah. It was like Halloween one year. We wanted to go rent a scary movie, and we went to go Blockbuster, and we picked the American version of that.
Well, that's a good movie too, but I highly recommend the original. Check that out.
I might have to. All right.
What about you?
Number 5 for me is, I think the only remake I have on my list is the 2017 version of It.
Ooh, okay.
I saw this in the theater, absolutely adored it. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise the Clown freaked the holy hell out of me.
Yeah.
His mannerisms, his expressions, his down to like his little micro movements, creepy, scary, terrifying, fantastic cast of kid actors.
Yeah.
You don't always get that in films, but to have so many adept child actors,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It's so good.
It was a great adaptation, and I didn't think anyone could do a better job than Curry
Yeah,
did.
Tim Curry, yeah, it's fantastic.
But Skarsgård hit it out of the park.
Yeah, they play the character like completely different too.
Yeah.
Like Tim Curry is a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård definitely plays him a lot darker.
Yeah, it was definitely darker, which is cool. That's fine. I did like the original, like the contrast between it was like he was like a colorful clown.
Yeah.
More but
He was
super
definitely
dark.
like dingy and
Yeah.
the special effects were very good. The just all around a fantastic movie. Cannot recommend it enough.
And I think it holds a special place in our hearts because that was our first episode.
Yeah, our first episode was a review of it.
A review of It and Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So that's something.
That was cool.
That's special to us. So that's good. Well, are we on 5 now?
4 for you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go with Child's Play.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't like Child's Play? Chucky, it's just great.
There's no more room.
We have the whole gang in here now.
We do. Jesus.
What's going on, guys? I'm just blessing you guys with my trip to the bathroom.
They're done with Yu-Gi-Oh, so now they have to deplete their bowels.
All right. Child's Play.
Child's Play.
Yes.
One of the creepiest movies if you ever owned a stuffed animal.
That's accurate. Yeah.
The fact that, first of all, the voice actor for Chucky, I don't think he gets enough credit for what he did. Something about him being that street thug, but he knew that voodoo stuff also that put him into that doll. Like, that's some crazy stuff, and I always liked his voice acting in the role.
Oh, yeah.
They got more comical as went on, but the first one, he actually, he had some really cool parts. But still scary. And the fact... And once again, the child actor, I feel like he didn't annoy me in that, which is, really important.
Yeah,
like,
especially for an older movie like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
A lot of times, those child actors, they just don't do it. But in this case, it actually worked. And I forget, what was his name? What was the kid's name? Tommy?
I don't remember.
Billy?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Like it was like a generic kid name, Tommy, Billy,
Yeah.
Jimmy, something like that.
And the mother actress, she was really good too. Like, you really felt for her being a single parent.
Yeah, and that famous scene where she takes the batteries out, and oh god, it gives me chills just thinking about it.
So many great parts, when she takes the when she she throws it away and it comes to there's so many
God.
crazy now you think of it as corny, but back then it was so creepy.
No,
and
yeah,
terrifying.
practical effects back then,
Yeah.
it was so good.
And as a kid during that time, it was so it was just so scary. Much like Puppet Master, where those little dolls.
Cheesy.
Well, no, Puppet Master's definitely way more of a B-movie, cheese movie. That's one that's just personal favorite of mine. But Child's Play is a legitimate great horror movie. I don't think anyone can dispute that. As long as you talk about the first one.
Yes.
Really good. That's another one I'll have to watch again. I haven't watched in a very long time.
All right, so
are we on
number
your
4 for me? Yeah. you got to go with 1980s The Shining. It's classic. Jack Nicholson roaming around a hotel in the middle of winter, slowly getting more crazy as the movie goes on. Definitely more suspenseful, and the tension level rises each day they're there. Then, of course, you have the twin ghost sisters that are just, I don't know what it is about creepy children in horror movies, but this movie hits the mark with it.
Yeah.
Besides the kids, you got the main kid. What's his name? Danny. Red rum with the finger and there. Oh
yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I think everybody does such a great job in this. This was Stanley Kubrick, so
yeah.
It was well shot, based on a Stephen King movie similar to It.
Yeah, I know King wasn't a fan of it, right, when it came out. He kind of had his creative differences and whatnot, but what a great movie.
Yes, Skip pointed out that said movie. I should have said book. Stephen King book.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what
no one reads books. Books are for stupid people.
Anyway, you got Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Scatman Crothers is in it. Just as Jack Nicholson's character, Jack Torrance,
yeah,
like his mind slowly deteriorates, and you see it has a weird twist ending. It's just creepy imagery.
Yeah. And it's like based on like a real hotel and like all that stuff that just makes it even creepier. So yeah.
And yeah, just one of the most classic, I think, horror movies of all time.
And just visually, just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the Stanley Kubrick magic.
Yeah, just ridiculous. The twins, so creepy.
Yeah.
And another good kid actor, too.
Yeah.
Super important to have good kid actors.
It really is. It can make or break a movie.
Really, yeah. I mean, Anakin. There you go.
Anakin. How could they get a good kid to go red rum, but they can't get freaking Anakin Skywalker with that budget? Like, are you serious?
Come on now.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So what is your number 3?
Oh, wow. Top 3.
Boom, boom, boom.
I am gonna go with Dawn of the Dead.
Okay, classic.
The original.
I figured as much.
Although I do love what was that, James Gunn, right? Was that James Gunn that did Dawn of the
He's
Dead?
quickly looking it up. I don't know. Did James Gunn do a remake?
Fact check?
Was it Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah.
2004?
Yeah.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, that's who it is.
Well, that can't be good. What? What are you looking at me for?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why.
That was Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. But, yeah, really good stuff. So, yeah, we're talking about the original Dawn of the Dead with them in the mall. Well, I guess that's like the remake, too, obviously. Come in.
There's no more room. What does everybody want?
Okay.
It's becoming a full house in here.
Yeah. In front of a live audience.
In front of a live captive audience. You're not allowed to leave!
Yeah. Sorry. I'll do it tomorrow. It's okay. Bye, Skip. Later.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Skip's dying outside.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry, continue.
What was I continuing?
I have no idea.
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, yes.
Yes, the original.
The original, not the Zack Snyder version.
One. The Zack Snyder one's really good, too. But, yeah, the fact, like, they're in a mall, they get the helicopter, they escape the city, and they go to that mall, and they basically live there, and it's just one of the best zombie movies, but it had a lot of heart to it. The practical effects are great. The makeup from Tom Savini.
Yeah.
He's a master of
Oh, yeah.
Horror makeup and makeup in general. But yeah, just so much good stuff. The character's really good. I like how they did a lot of cool stuff in the other one, but like this one, it seemed like it was a smaller group so it kind of made it more scarier, and just the fact that it's older, very 70s and or early 80s, I should say. I think was 78? It late 78? Yeah, late 70s. I like we have a fact check.
Yeah, this is good.
So much easier.
You're hired.
Yeah, just so much good stuff. They built like a fake wall so the zombies wouldn't see, and one of them gets his leg hurt, so he's in a wheelbarrow, and they're shopping around, and like they're doing all cool stuff. But then the stupid biker gang has to ruin it all and break in and stuff. Must watch if you guys like zombie movies. Dawn of the Dead.
Oh yeah,
original classic.
I think those of the Dead movies, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, those were the ones that spawned the whole franchise of zombie movies. Without those movies, you wouldn't have, freaking Zombieland or The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Even Dead Rising. The video game is very based on...
Yeah, that's Dawn of the Dead game, pretty much. Yeah, so much good stuff, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. I really loved it. Still do.
It's classic.
It was tough to pick between Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, because I really like Day of the Dead as well. But I feel...
Is Day of the Dead the one with the deaf guy?
No. Day of the Dead is when they're in, like, the Air Force bunker.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the zombie that has the headphones on named Bub.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah, me neither. But, that's really good as well. But Dawn of the Dead, I feel like there's something... Because it talks about, like, the theme is, like, a lot of, like, materialism and, like, buying things. Consumerism, I mean. Like that's a very big theme in Dawn of the Dead, which I like how they touch on, like, a lot of that underlying stuff. Really good. Can't even say too much more about it. Just spectacular. If anyone hasn't seen Dawn of the Dead, you gotta check it out. And I do recommend after that checking out the remake, because that's really good. Ving Rhames kills it. Right? Does he not?
You got the nod. Nod of approval. So, my number 3 is actually, I forget which number it was for you, but Nightmare on Elm Street, the original. So you've got Johnny Depp.
I think, what was mine? Number 7?
I think so. Yeah,
Something
you had it a lot higher. There's something about it. It was one of the first horror movies I saw when I was little, so it's got a special place in my heart. I love Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. You got a young Johnny Depp. You got here's her name here, Heather Langenkamp playing Nancy. She's so good. Also, so hot.
she's great.
She's so
hot.
Oh man,
she was a cutie.
Anyway, yeah, a lot of really fantastic, scary, iconic moments. I really can't say much more than what you said about it before. Just one of the most iconic figures in horror movies. Very inventive, and one of a kind. Really, I think his style really influenced a lot of other horror movies. I feel like Saw definitely took a lot of
that,
inspiration, and I think the whole fact that you can't go to sleep, which is such like a human defense mechanism in a way. Go under the bed, under your covers, and it plays on those fears.
Yeah, exactly. Super scary.
Don't want to talk too much because you already spoke about it, but Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, is a 2 thumbs way up.
2 thumbs up, all the way up.
So, number 2 for you, Mike.
The Thing.
The Thing.
Yes. I love The Thing. I mean, Kurt Russell, the amazing cast. That's another one like Alien where it's also a sci-fi movie, but more grounded in realism. And once again, the alien is just so creepy, and the fact that it shapeshifts and it can do, like, your best friend could be the monster, that sort of thing. Yeah. And just the acting, the environment, where it's something about those horror movies that take place in the winter. They just make things more scary.
I agree with that.
The dead of winter, like something about that.
I think it's like an isolation.
Yeah, because they were like isolated.
It's also the fear of like outside as well, because it's cold. It's like it's a brutal element.
Yeah.
So there's running away isn't as easy as it would be on a nice sunny day. If you're in the snow and it's like 30 below.
Yeah. Super scary. I love it, and it has like a cool like twist at the end if you want to believe like that he was. Well, I don't want to say too much because
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, definitely highly recommended for any people that want because it has like a little bit of everything. Like there's the sci-fi part of it, but then there's like a lot of drama. Like it has like a really good cast, obviously, and the story's like pretty cool. And they're like researchers and they're doing their thing, isolated in the winter and stuff. Something about that really creepy. Really love it.
That's John Carpenter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Classic. What about you?
All right,
Is that your number 2?
This is my number 2. So my number 2 is easily one of the greatest horror films of all time, Psycho, 1960,
yes.
The original, Norman Bates. One of the most iconic scenes in movies in general, not even just horror movies. The the knife in the shower.
Mm-hmm. The falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
right?
At the end of the movie, right?
Yeah. Kind of like where it like shows him that he's just like that weird angle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of mastery photography shots at work, and that's Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah. Alfred Hitchcock is one of the most famous directors of all time. His placement and the lighting, and there's one specific scene that a lot of film like people, I don't know what you want to call them, but people who like obsess over film and cinephiles. There you go. There's a scene called the parlor scene, and it's where the lead character, Marion Crane, or I guess she's the lead until she gets killed. Anyway, she's the semi-lead character. Her and Norman Bates are sitting across from each other, and Norman's got like a stuffed vulture behind him, and it's he's the predator, and the way the lighting is used, everything in that scene is so perfectly planned out. It's fantastic. Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates is easily one of the most creepy people. He doesn't even. It just his mannerisms and the way he comes off as being all innocent, and then he can a switch.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good. Psycho. If you haven't seen it, one of my favorite films of all time. Easily one of my favorite horror films of all time.
It's one of those must-watch just for how influential it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about twists. Like with M. Night Shyamalan, like where do you think he got that stuff from? Mm-hmm. Like all that stuff, man. Really good stuff.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen that in a long time too.
Yeah,
and it's black and white, so
it is black and white.
But stay away from the Vince Vaughn one.
Yeah, no, don't watch the Vince Vaughn one. The Psycho sequels aren't really that great. But the original is just perfect.
Wasn't there a show, Bates Motel? Right?
There was. Is
that good? Mm-hmm.
It actually is very good.
Good.
I got the ending of like one of the seasons spoiled for me, so I didn't watch it. But I watched like seasons like 1 through 3 or something like that. And you have Freddie Highmore, who is an incredible actor. Who you might know him from The Good Doctor. He was in August Rush. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he's in the Spiderwick Chronicles. But his perfection of Anthony Perkins' mannerisms is worth it alone just to watch the show.
Yes.
Yeah, highly recommend it. The TV show's good. The movie obviously is a classic.
Yeah, definitely.
Psycho is my number 2.
Okay.
So, Mike, without further ado, what is your number 1?
Well, I mean, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Night of the Living Dead.
There you go. The black and white, right?
Black and white. Just so great and so influential. Talk about another influential movie, and the black and white just makes it a billion times scarier. And again, one of the best protagonists in a horror movie, because you really get a feel for the guy, and it goes where you don't think it's gonna go, which I like too. Even another twist at the end where I don't want to say too much about what happens, although I feel like everyone has seen that. Can you really spoil Night of the Living Dead?
I don't know.
Maybe the new generation hasn't seen it though, so I highly recommend for people to check Night of the Living Dead out. At the beginning, the graveyard scene where the couple is at the grave, they're coming to get you, Barbara. That stuff is so creepy, and it's okay, it's corny now because the zombies are so weak, and but they didn't know exactly what zombies were even back then, so it's such a new thing and so different but so creepy. I don't even know. It's just so, and it's one of the first horror movies I ever saw, so I just had that on repeat back in the day. Just so good. I was a big zombie fan back in the day.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Probably my favorite sort of
the Godfather of
genre.
The zombie genre.
George Romero, what a legend. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Legend. Yeah. So your one.
My number one is the classic Halloween.
There we go.
1978, the original. Just what more can be said about one of the greatest horror slasher flicks of all time?
Mm-hmm.
You've got Jamie Lee Curtis, who is another bombshell in that movie.
Yeah.
she was a hottie back in her day. And this whole cast of characters, Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis, and just it tells the story of this escaped mental patient who goes back to his hometown on Halloween and causes havoc.
Yeah.
And it's John Carpenter. It's the music.
Yeah.
It's
classic.
The atmosphere. It really, you watch that movie and I can instantly close my eyes and feel Halloween. That movie embodies Halloween.
Yeah.
The way the sounds of the kids running up and down the street, the jack-o'-lanterns, the TV, the leaves on the ground, what people are wearing. Just, it reminds me so much of being a kid on Halloween, and there's certain scenes that just are iconic. Michael Myers behind the... Now we're getting it copyrighted.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Iconic movie. Mike Myers behind the clothes drying in the the sheet, and then he's there and he's not there. And then my favorite scene in any horror movie ever is when they think he's dead, and Jamie Lee Curtis is sitting against the hallway door, and then you see in the background, you just see him freaking WWF Undertaker style, just sit up and
straight up, yeah,
and just turn, and she doesn't see it, but you see it,
yeah,
and it's just oh my god,
it's no, don't rest now, get out,
and obviously the movie's been. There's infinitely number of sequels. It's gotten remakes, and then they then tomorrow night, Friday, or I guess it was last Friday. Yeah, tomorrow night for us, last Friday for you guys. The new Halloween movie comes out. Jamie Lee Curtis reprising her role as Laurie Strode.
It's probably not going to be good, but hey, whatever.
Toting a shotgun.
Yeah,
in the trailer. Halloween. Classic, the mask, the atmosphere, the iconic scenes, the way it embodies the spirit of Halloween in horror movies. Number one for me.
Okay. So you think we can do a quick little...
Let's do it.
Mix
All right.
of top 10
Fight!
Just to end it.
All right, let me grab my pad, even though B-Dome put a comic book over it.
We'll do it quick, because we're running late, guys.
No, I don't. All right, here we go. So, Mike, I'm going to lay down your top 10 real quick, and then I'll lay down my top 10. So, Mike, what was your number one?
My number one was... What was my...
Just go down number 1 through 10.
Okay.
Fast, but also slow.
Because I didn't label them as 1 through... I was kind of just picking off of them. So I think I had The Gate, or... No, was it Puppet Master?
Puppet Master was number 1.
Then The Gate.
Okay.
Then Nightmare on Elm Street. Then Child's Play. Then I did Train to Busan. The Omen. Let the Right One In. And then my top 3 was Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, and it was Dawn of the Dead, The Thing, and then Night of the Living Dead.
Okay. And then, very quickly, as I write the fastest I've ever written in my life, that was a horrible 8. I should be ashamed of myself. My number 1 was Halloween, followed by Psycho, followed by Elm Street, followed by The Shining, followed by It, then it was Alien, then it was Cabin in the Woods.
Getting his shorthand on.
I know, this looks like complete garbage right now. Paranormal Activity, The Visit, and then it was 1408. Okay, so going down your list real quick, which ones you want to keep, which ones you want to fight for?
Okay, what's your 10 versus my 10?
Puppet Master versus 1408.
Oh. I'll let you have that one.
Okay. Or we're going to do it
just
like that.
because it's John Cusack. Okay.
So, 1408. All right, so we're doing it a bit different this time. All right, so
are we?
Yeah. The Gate versus The Visit.
Oh, how dare you have that on your list? Should have put signs.
The Visit.
Damn, I'm 2 for 2 here. Got Nightmare on Elm Street versus Paranormal Activity.
Nightmare
for sure.
Yeah.
That's fine. Child's Play versus Cabin in the Woods.
Child's Play. You gotta go with Child's Play.
What? Versus Cabin? Well, we both have Elm Street on there, so...
Okay, then you can get...
I can get rid of my Elm Street, and then we can keep both, because they're both really good.
Okay.
So, Train to Busan versus Alien.
Ooh. Alien. Gotta do Alien. Train to Busan's dope, but Alien.
Alright, you got it. Omen versus It.
It.
Yeah. Damien. This is definitely a different way of doing it, but I can't even read my own chicken scratch. Oh, The Right One In versus The Shining.
Shining.
Okay. I'm killing you on this.
What is that, doll right there?
It's Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay.
Don't even... There's my chicken scratch. Don't even worry about it. Dawn of the Dead, then My Elm Street. So, I guess you can keep... No, we have to eliminate one of them here. So we've got Dawn of the Dead...
versus Child's Play.
No, Child's Play was...
Oh,
yeah, I mean, you can... We can... Well, we should eliminate one of mine, though. Get it off there.
Yeah, the blob that looks like Child Boy. Yeah, that's
I think that was one of my better ones, actually.
this one, it looks.
So we got Dawn of the Dead, The Thing, and that's Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead looks to me like no with an L at the end of it, and then a B.
Looks like Wald.
Yeah,
Wald.
And then the second one is literally a squiggle.
That's The Thing.
Yeah, it is.
So, what do you think?
Okay, so what is it?
Alright, so your top 3 here, you got Dawn of the Dead, The Thing, and then Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And I've got Halloween, Psycho, and Nightmare on Elm Street, which we already eliminated.
Nightmare.
Yeah, so,
what do you think?
So, I'm trying 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so 10, we got 1408 for sure. We got The Visit. We got I'll do Cabin, then Nightmare. We got Alien. Got It. Got The Shining. And then we only got room for 1, 2, 3... Oh, Jesus, this is not going to work. Alright, we got to start eliminating some stuff.
We can do it. Okay, so what are we up to? What number?
We should always start from the top, because this is where it bites us. Because we put, like, 1408 on there, which should not be in there in place of any of the other ones.
Yeah. So get rid of 1408.
Yeah, we'll put The Visit there. I don't know. This is ridiculous. We failed so bad at this.
Did we?
Yeah, we did so bad. We should always start from the top.
It's because you let Child's Play and whatever Child's Play was up against go through. Cabin, I think.
Cabin in the Woods, but I had two. We had Nightmare on Elm Street twice.
So it's his nightmare versus your nightmare. Whose nightmare is more nightmare-y?
Yeah.
Definitely Mike's.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna put Halloween and Night of the Living Dead,
Then Psycho.
and then Psycho.
I feel like that's a pretty good list.
All right. So number 10, No, wait. I screwed this up. Whatever. 1408's still on here for some reason.
Why is 1408 on there?
Just get rid of 1408, put Child's Play on, and everybody's happy.
All right, that's fine. Child's Play number 10, 9 The Visit, 8 Cabin in the Woods, 7 Nigeria or whatever the hell I wrote over here. I have no idea what I wrote.
Nightmare?
It's probably Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 6 was Alien. Number 5, It. Number 4, The Shining. Number 3, Psycho. Number 2, Night of the Living Dead. Number 1, Halloween. We're done.
Yeah.
Top 10. We suck. All right. Episode's over.
Thanks for bearing with us, sticking with us. This was a scary edition of Geeklirious.
Oh, it was scary bad, okay.
I'm Mike Tessmacher.
Brian Cambriello.
Yes.
Skip
Shout
here.
outs, special cameo by
Thank you, Skip. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a great Halloween. No, we'll see you on Halloween. We'll be back beforehand.
We're doing some special stuff, so keep tuned to our feed.
Absolutely. Boo to you. Bye.
Boo. Garfield.